A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel. In this particular video, I'm going to be talking about Jeffery Dahmer. Now, this is a Netflix web series that is very popular. It's trending on #1. And it's about a serial killer, a cannibal, a guy who was into necrophilia and whatnot. People are watching this documentary or this docu-series because they are actually liking the honesty of this guy. And they are also going to his old clips and watching his interviews before his death. And there are lots of videos reviewing whatever his life was all about and why everyone needs to know about him. On my channel, I try to create a bridge between illusion and reality. But this one, where they hired an actor and all of that, it was done in a way that a movie or a web series is made on even a fictional story. So I would say that yes, they did do a great job because they tried to show everything in a more realistic way. But we need to understand that characters like Jeffery Dahmer, first of all, he's not the only one. There are more people like him on this planet who are either cannibals or rapists or even into necrophilia or doing a lot of crazy things, but still coexisting and living in this life, living on the planet without realizing that they could be suffering from mental sicknesses and they could be actually having some huge problems and they just don't know about it. In this case, in Jeffrey's case also, he liked the attention, he enjoyed attention, but you would see that he was extremely lonely, and one of the key reasons for doing whatever he did was to kill his loneliness and keep those people with him in some way, shape or form. Now, I want to talk about two things here, two very, very important things. Number one, his mother. And while we are in the ascension journey, some of you are star seeds, light workers, twin flames, you all want to do something for the planet, you want to contribute. So you need to understand how important mother is for a child, for any child. When you look at his father's character, you see that the father still had empathy and he was trying to take responsibility. There is a certain amount of narcissism in both the parents, but the father was more empathetic. He was trying to question, like, did I do this? Have I been the person? Am I the reason behind my son's this type of crazy, horrible behavior? Because they've shown the father-son interaction all throughout, where he tells, the boy that, look, you could be crazy and we can get you some help on the account of you being a lunatic. And he says, I'm not insane. I'm just not insane. I do all of these things. So he's being very much open about whosoever he is. He does not hide anything. He gave all details to the cops, to the investigators. So the father was quite supportive. However, right when he was in the mother's womb, the mother was constantly rejecting him. She was constantly saying things like, I don't want him. I want this to get over. I'm not happy about the pregnancy. And the worst thing that she did, which I always speak about in so many channelings I've spoken about, is the problem of chemicals that our world is facing, especially the children. The children, via the mother's womb, are getting access or they are consuming the chemicals. Now, if the child is in the womb and the mother is consuming 27 tablets in a day, 27 pills in a day, but with all due respect to anybody who was a part of this show or people who were a part of this whole story, the real life story of Jeffery Dahmer, because it's a public story now, it's very much public, and somebody has to take responsibility of it. If not anyone else, then the society needs to take responsibility of this whole thing, because this kid, as a child, he was extremely ignored, highly ignored. He was not given any intimacy. So when I speak about people who are involved too much in casual sex or flings, we don't want to judge them because they are simply looking for intimacy. They did not get the hugs and the kisses and the cuddles and the protection and the care and the answers, They did not receive what is called a safe and protective environment. And because of that, they developed all these sexual fantasies, or you can say sexual attachments with people who never really care about them, people who just want to get close to them. And I'm sure they're all suffering. All of the people who are into this are suffering in some way or the other. Every child needs to know that they are loved unconditionally. And when they don't receive that, now I'm gonna elaborate more about the mother, because I don't want only the mother to come across as the evil person and not Jeffrey and not anybody else. Well, Jeffrey did something horrible. He's definitely, accountable for it. He's responsible for it. But how does a normal child who's born in a family, where there is another child, so his brother is also there who's not like him, how does this one, develop this type of a crazy personality, of a crazy inhuman personality, and becomes a cannibal, starts killing people, starts eating them? Like, that's gross. And he also has lots of fans. Now this is the point that I want to first cover, and then I'll go back to the mother situation. There are people who are sending him fan mails and letters and money and whatnot. Now this itself shows that our society is also sick. Certain sections of our society are definitely sick. But why are they sick? That's because they are not getting the love they deserve. When you don't get the touch, the hugs and the kisses, they are basically touching your skin, they're holding you, they're hugging you, they're talking to you. Intimacy is also having deep conversations. Intimacy is also giving them answers to the children. When a child is crying, it's hungry, or it's feeling some kind of bad weather, and the child is crying constantly for hours, 1 hour, 2 hours has gone by. The child is crying, and nobody's taking care of the child. Nobody's picking the child up. Either the mother has gone for work or the father has gone for work. So both parents are responsible. But when I looked at the footage, the interviews, even of the real life characters, I felt that the father had more empathy, and he was trying to take responsibility for whatever happened, and he was trying very hard to even stick around with his son. Despite whatever the son did, he feels bad that there was a time when both the mother and father leave him alone, and that's the time he actually committed his first murder. His first proper murder was committed when his mother left him in that house and the father's gone to some motel. He was all by himself, found someone on the street. He was an attractive man. Maybe he wanted company. This guy's biggest problem, the biggest problem I sensed, was he needed company. He needed to be with someone. And even if he got company, even if he got good people, because the deaf guy was a really nice guy, he was treating him so well. I actually hoped that, this whole story would have just ended over there, and he would have just found such a lovely person, someone who can heal him, someone who can hold him up, someone who hugs him, kisses him. But his instinct was so strong in him that he even killed such a loving person. Okay, maybe with others it was just a one-night stand thing. Maybe with others it was not such a great thing. But here, he was genuinely getting affection, which he rejected or refused. And he did the same thing that he did with others. So basically, his problem, now he didn't even want that pure affection and love. He just wanted to keep those people with him. That shows that Jeffrey Dahmer had a very lonely world. Chemicals play such a big role in anybody's insanity and sanity. You leave the chemicals, you quit the chemicals, you will be a different person. I mean, such a small thing which I'm going to talk about. Personally, I used to have a lot of pain during my periods, during my cycle. So I used to take a lot of painkillers, and sometimes I would take 3 to 4 painkillers in a day. 3, I still remember, morning, afternoon, night, because the pain was too bad. But I started working on myself, and I realized that I could be doing great, inner work on all 28 days, or, all the days basically. But these 4-5 days, they actually impact the whole month. So when you take so many pills, so many painkillers, the chemicals stay in your body, and they stay in your body for a long time. So I started researching, and I found out some brilliant facts, some minor tweaks in my food, in my diet, and pineapple became my best friend, during these cycles. So I realized that it's all up here and it's all here. Once these two connect, the mind and heart, when they connect, then automatically you'll find solutions, and you will be shocked to find out that the solution was so simple and right under your nose all the time, but you never noticed it, simply because you were too dependent, you were codependent. So the mother's character is definitely hugely codependent person. She's taking so many pills and she does not care about the child in her womb. Not only she's selfish, but she's also extremely codependent. And definitely a narcissist, because, all her life she didn't care about him, but towards the end, she tries to kill herself and she leaves a letter. Again, when you read the letter, it is a huge cry for, accepting her, that she is not the wrong person and somebody else should take the responsibility. But now let me come to a more spiritual and a very karmic, or you can say reincarnation based logic or system. Now, if you don't believe in afterlife, and if you believe that you're only one person, just one life you have, or one body you have, and that's it. So I'm talking about your physical anatomy and your physical life, because my job, I'm basically a spiritualist. I'm an expert of spiritual techniques and modalities that can change your life. So I've studied about all of these mental disorders, and the craziest part was that none of the mental disorder can be cured by medicine. The pills, the chemicals that are given to people, that are passed on to the people, they are not really a proper cure. They are just trying to make it slightly better by basically denying the pain. So when we take the painkiller, we are denying the pain that we have in our body, or we have a problem in the body, we're just denying it. It could be very much possible that this man, Jeffrey, was definitely a soul that came from some very dark world. That's how he was, because his mother gave birth to another son, another boy. But that boy did not turn out to be like Jeffrey. And neither did she feel that kind of disconnect with that boy. But as soon as she got pregnant with Jeffrey, she was a very unhappy woman. It could be very much possible. It could be possible. Like, I don't want to completely blame her, or I don't want to completely deny the fact that he was not given a good upbringing. But it could also be his own karma, because we are all incubated and we're all planted in different parts of the world based on who we are and what we've been in our past lives. It could be very much possible that he was suffering and others were suffering along with him, because that was his destiny. So as soon as he was incubated in the womb, he was not the equal energy match for a human being. He was not a human being. He was a cannibal. And it was interesting that he spoke very well. He looked well. He dressed up well. He had a very charming personality. And all illusionists and all demonic agents usually have a charming outer look, because they only function on physical appearance, body, talking, how they talk, the style of talking, behavior. These are the things they usually rely on to get their victims, to get their praise. So when this boy, this kind of energy was in the mother's womb, she could not handle it. She was so low, as she would say that she's very depressed, she's very low, she's not feeling happy, she's not feeling good. So the energy had to be matched. The chemicals, all chemicals, come with a certain energetic definition and a frequency. Everything is energy on this planet. We are all experiencing this planet also as an energetic being, and our energy body, when we are actually healing, when we rediscover or we come back in our actual potential, our soul potential, then we start realizing that this body is just a device. So that type of a person will have a different energy as compared to a materialistic person. So her energy went really down, and in order to match up with what was living inside of her womb, she started taking chemicals, and she never held him and she never touched him. Now this is a question that even I want to ask, women. See, because we understand that was her situation, but there are so many other women who give birth to children, who raise children, who have so many children, but they don't care about the children as much as they care about themselves and their own personal private image, the projection of their image in the society. They only care about that. So the second important thing is, first we say that she was not a good mother, but then that's also not totally possible, because the job that she was doing, the work that she was doing, she also suffered from postpartum depression for a long time, for many years. So she also suffered along with Jeffrey, and she could never understand why she never felt close or connected with this boy as much as she felt with the other son. What was the reason? It could be a very karmic reason. It could be that he was born in this planet to do this, because there are all types of beings on this planet, and there are lots of people who look human, but inside they are not human. They are not human. They are demonic agents. And if you see the kind of charisma or the kind of aura this guy had, it doesn't look like he was scared of anyone or anything. He even said on camera that if I was not caught, I would continue to kill people, which means that he's trying to establish this to the interviewer and to all the people who are watching him. He says, I'm not insane. He says, I can do it again. It's just an urge. So he's trying to tell people very clearly that this is who I am. This is my nature. Just like a butterfly has a nature, the tree has a nature, demons also have their own nature. Children are very precious, my friends. And now that we are in the age of ascension, now that we are working on making this planet a better place, we need to be a children's oriented society. If we are a children's oriented society, those children will eventually become adults, and that way the adults will be healed and healthy, and they will be a contributor in the society. All of them would be contributing to the planet, to the world, and most importantly to themselves, and make this world a better place, a happier place. So on this note, stay away from chemicals as much as you can. There is no dearth of herbal stuff. There is no dearth of products that are created directly from the nature, by the nature. I'm not saying that all chemicals are bad. In some situations, certain chemical medicines help, certain antiseptics, certain lotions, certain creams, they help. I'm not saying, but excess of anything is bad. So when you're consuming, or when you're becoming codependent on any chemical substance, try to think about it, that you could find another alternative solution to it instead of getting deeper and deeper into that rut. Thank you so much for being here with me. One love and peace out, and Jai Shri Ram.